Hi everyone. Let's see. Let me get my lights together a little bit here. There we go. All right. So today we are going to be bringing back the Folia Oracle. I used that. I paired it with the Meraki Tarot last week. I really liked it, but I want to see how it pairs with the Unfolding Path. So that's going to be what I'm going to try out this week. So let's go ahead and get started with our Oracle read. As always, if you would like a little bit more detail, feel free. Whoops. Feel free to use my tip link in the description, or it should pop up in the chat shortly. Oh no, there we go. All right, let's see what we have for our community read, what energy we have around us. Hope your first week of 2025 has been going well, guys. Let me know how your year is starting off. Let me know in the comments. All right, our first card, interesting. We have Sneaky Person. So this says a person with a questionable moral compass. So I have to wonder if right now you are surrounding yourself around someone who isn't necessarily the best fit for you, someone who is being a little bit sneaky and just doesn't have your best interest in mind like you would for yourself. And then we have Leisure, remain lighthearted. So I feel like, whoever this person is, whoever this sneaky person is that's around you, don't let them pull you into their drama. Don't let them pull you into their nonsense. Don't let them pull you down onto their level. This is going to be your middle card here, this Leisure card. So I feel like this is saying people around you are going to act however they are going to act, but don't let them suck you into it, and remain lighthearted, carefree. Don't let them drag you into whatever BS it is that they're trying to drag you into. And hey everybody, sorry, I feel like I didn't greet you guys today. Hope you guys are doing well. Ugh, got butterfingers today. Okay, last card. Let's see. Hey, Whimsically. How are you already behind, Robin? Last card for the community. Let's take this card. Oh, I love that. Here we go. Set boundaries. So just like I was saying, don't let people drag you into the BS that they might be trying to suck you into. Don't let them drag you down to their level. Set very clear boundaries. Enforce those boundaries so that way you can keep your own peace of mind. You can keep your own your peace, and people are not taking that away from you. All right, now I'm curious about this whole sneaky person thing as a community. Maybe it's not like a person, but it's just like the energy that's around us. So if you would like a reading to include the oracle, you can use my tip link and let me know. And I'm gonna get the cards all shuffled. I haven't used this in a while. I've wanted to use it, but I feel like every time I break it out, I end up overusing it. All right, for you are up first. Thank you, Luke. Just a reminder, I don't do third-party readings, so what so-and-so feels about you or is thinking about you or their intentions. It's not our business. All right. Let's get you up first. A message from Spirit for 4. Is this about anything in particular or just a general check-in? card. Last card. I forgot how much I love this deck. It just shuffles so well and it's so cooperative. All right, we have the Seven of Swords. You have energy like all over the place. You have the Seven of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and then the Two of Cups. So you have almost a little bit of everything, minus like the fire energy. You have swords, which is air. You have pentacles, which is earth. You have cups, which is water. So you kind of have a little bit of everything going on. I'm gonna start in the middle and work my way out, only because we have like pentacles in the middle and I feel like that's really important. So pentacles, that earth energy really asks you to find ways to root yourself and find balance. So the Four of Pentacles specifically is really saying like, hey, Spirit notices you might be overdoing it, and it could be affecting you negatively, either your finances, your health, something like that, the general balance of your home life. And the Four is really saying like, keep things close to you. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't give too much away. Really be frugal. So frugality, that is really the theme that I feel like Spirit wants you to take away from everything here. And then everything else just sort of branches off from that. So we have on one side, we have the Seven of Swords. I think this is more reversed. So I reversed this because the Seven of Swords is more about like being deceitful. So a lot of times in regards to this, it's more so like being dishonest with yourself. But I think what Spirit is really trying to say is like, maybe you haven't been honest with yourself about how you have been spending your time, how much you've been exerting stuff, and how that is affecting you in a not so good way. And I think that they really want you to sit and think about that, and like really think about moments where you could have done things differently and it would have really improved it wouldn't have affected you so negatively. Whether that means you overspent in one instance, or you worked yourself into sickness, that kind of thing, where you just aren't at your best. And the Seven of Swords really asks us to rethink how we have been doing things. So in the upright, it's really like, you're not doing that. You're doing things that are basically undermining what your actual goals are. So your actions and your goals are not in alignment. And in reverse, Spirit is saying, hey, you got to stop doing that. You got to be honest with yourself that things may or may not be working. Like they may be working in some instances, which is really great, and not in others, where I think like maybe in this case, looking at this reading, maybe your physical mental health might be taking a little bit of a hit because you've been overdoing it, but you're starting to build more meaningful relationships on the other flip side, right? So on the other side here, we have the Two of Cups. Twos are that duality and also balance. So it complements the Four in a kind of way. There's this, what do you call it? There's this like a passiveness where things aren't in so much flux anymore. And that is really what Spirit's looking for you. So the Two of Cups, outside of the idea of duality with the twos, this is about your emotional balance and finding the correct peg for the correct hole, right? Where you find the correct people to be around you, where it doesn't feel like it's a lot of work. It doesn't feel like you're really giving up or sabotaging other things just because you are putting up with other people. It's like finding your right person. This could be a person or people, but ultimately what it does is this relationship brings balance to your life, and it helps it feel stable and brings that stability as well. So you need to, I think spirit really just wants you to slow down a little bit, I would say. If I were to also take something else away from that, slow down a little bit. Take time to see where maybe you were doing yourself a little bit of a disservice, and reflect on that before moving forward. But ultimately, I think that they're looking out for you. You're probably doing a lot of the right things. It's just we can always stand to check in and readjust, or adjust, I should say, from time to time. Hey LH, how are you doing? Hey Chelsea, welcome to the queue. All right, Whimsically, you are up next. Totally get it, and that's all you can do is keep trying, keep pushing forward. So what I would recommend is you got your message, just give yourself some small goals. You don't have to do anything like crazy. All right, Whimsically, let's get you a general love message. General love message for Whimsically. All right, we have the Three of Cups, the Emperor, and yes, the Emperor, and the believe this is the Knight of Wands. So it's interesting because we have another like balance of cards, except where the last one didn't have wands, this one has wands and no swords. So I'll start in the middle with the Emperor because that's your only major arcana. There's this like sort of balance we get with this card. The Emperor is, I feel like this is a sign that you have someone coming into your life romantically who is, I would describe them as someone who is a little bit more like established. They're much more mature. It kind of gives older vibes if they aren't actually older, and they really thrive off of like structure and order, and they really probably like traditional roles in terms of relationships. So I would say this person probably leans masculine. It doesn't necessarily mean they're a man, but if that is who you date, then you can safely say that that is that kind of energy there. And I think that with the Emperor, kind of in the downside with the Emperor is they can sometimes be a little rigid. So a lot of times they are like the type of people like if you've ever dealt with like really like left brain people that are a little too left brain, they can be a little stubborn, a little hard to connect with, but they don't mean it maliciously. Like at the end of the day, the Emperor, I think is fire. We have that paired with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is fire on fire, so we have a lot of fire energy there. So you might be looking at your fire signs. I don't remember exactly what the Emperor is, but I'm sure somebody will be able to figure it out for you. But I think that if I'm looking at the Three Cups, I think that this is someone that is going to pop up in your social circle. I don't think it's going to be something that you're actively going to be looking for. This is someone who just happened to be part of the friend group one day, or like was introduced through a friend group, and you guys just hit it off. Now, One of the warnings I would say is be careful about rushing into things. When I see the Knight of Wands is really awesome in the sense like knights are ambitious and they know what it is that they want, and the Knight of Wands is not scared to push towards that goal, whatever it is they've set their sights on, but they can be a little thoughtless. All the passion and desire is there, but none of the thought process, so they can be quite impulsive. Robin, thank you. See, my chat is always keeping me honest. um so I think the warning is to not rush into things with this person. If this is someone in your friend group, kind of just let it slow burn for a little bit. Oh, so you're saying you didn't expect anyone. So that's good. I would say like continue not expecting that, and then like if it pops up soon, don't jump into things. Just kind of see how things go, and kind of check out the vibes and make sure like you mentioned that they are your type, but sometimes maybe your type it's like one of those things like we gravitate towards that, but it's not necessarily right for us right now. So just be careful about rushing into that. But I think that ultimately it seems like really cool because it seems like it's going to be like a natural thing where you guys meet. It's just going to kind of be just on the air. You guys are out and about, you meet up with a bunch of friends, and it just kind of happens. So it's really chill, it feels like. And ultimately I just think that the only warning I have is be careful about rushing into things when you meet whoever this emperor is. But that's so cool that you have your type is more of the like left brain kind of people. Why do you feel called out, Luke? Alrighty, Ari, you are up next. Ari, can you clarify your question? I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm not sure if you're asking like characteristically if it's gonna be similar to the person you were into, or I just clarify for me, just so I don't. Ooh, you're a Pisces whimsically. That's my rising and moon sign. Can you ask a different question? I'm not really good with like physical characteristics of people. I've never been good about picking that out of tarot. At least not. I don't think I could with this deck. Do I give Pisces vibes? I don't know. I feel like I'm very much my like sun sign of Taurus, and I could do a quick yes no for that. We can see what my little crystal ball oracle has. Gives me an excuse to pop her out again. All right, thank you for clarifying. Look at you, Robin, like reading my brain. Okay, let's see, Ari, if your future spouse will look like any of the famous guys you're into. Let's see. Come on, here we go. Cards are still new. They're wanting to stick together. So I don't think so. This is choose a new direction. So I think you can safely assume that you're not, the person you end up with is not going to be like some, you know, superficial, like famous crush. Is not going to resemble some superficial famous crush, I should say. It's probably a better way to put it. So, yeah, I think that choose a new direction, probably, if I'm looking into it, is like saying, hey, like that might be something you're into, but like realistically, like, let's be honest, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm just now looking at this card in more detail. I really like the imagery of the moon here, where it feels, and you kind of have a little bit of those cardinal directions with north and south. The moon always reminds me to like check your intuition and be careful about falling prey to fantasies. So like finding that balance between what our dreams are and what it is we what our dreams are and what it is we can realistically achieve. Because I think that there are ways to like sort of manifest certain things, but at the same time there's a balance that we have to consider. And I think that's what this card is really like, saying like, how can you kind of get some of what you're looking for, but how can you also pivot in a little bit of kind of way? That's fine, Ari. I mean, you may not find it unrealistic. It just might not be what you end up with, which happens all the time. You never really know because the future is crazy. Alrighty, Chelsea, you are up next. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't think it's about not being attracted. I think it's just like different, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Because I think attraction is like a whole spectrum. There's so many different outliers. So if you're looking at like I always tell people when you ask questions like this, sometimes they can be a little specific. So if you're looking at a specific type of person with like specific characteristics, it's probably why the answer is like, sort of. Sort of, but no. That's how a lot of people are. You got to be like, there has to be at least some bit of physical connection. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So that's not unrealistic at all. That's pretty standard, I would say. I forgot how hard these cards are to shuffle. Ooh, let's see. Gonna pull out my little handy dandy crystal ball for this again. Let's see what the crystal ball deck has for you, Chelsea. I love this thing. I'm so glad I got it. All right. So, it says you're going in the right direction. So I would say like maybe next Monday isn't quite right. Oh, Luna's coming. Hi, Luna. I don't know that Monday's going to be a yes for you, but I do think that it will happen. So you're in the right direction. I do think maybe it's sometime next week is really like just intuitively looking at that. Um yeah, Luna, come on. Let's go uppies. Alrighty. Sorry, had to say hi, Luna. So yeah, Chelsea, I think just be a little patient. Be flexible with the dates of when you want things. um I noticed that just cards aside, my own experiences, when things don't happen in the beginning of the week, like on a Monday, then they tend to happen on like a Thursday, Friday. So give yourself some time. You'll have to let me know next Friday if that goes down or not, because I would love to get feedback on that. Yeah. Say hi to everybody. Everybody says hi. She's the true star of the show, guys. I'm just here for fun. She's the real face behind the camera, I guess. You hear that, Luna? You're Queen Luna. Yes, you are. Alrighty, LH, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Oh no. Okay. Luna, can you give me some knocks for me? Thank you. All right, LH. Let's see what Queen Luna has for you. No, I kid. Let's see what Spirit has for you. What message they have for you. Robin, both of them are actually black, so yes. They're all black siblings. I call them Thing 1 and Thing 2, or I'll call them the twins, but their online persona are the Space Cadets. Ooh, so we have the Three of Wands. Sorry, I have not used this deck in a while. The Ace of Cups. Oh, such beautiful cards. And the Two of Wands. A lot of Wands energy here. With the Cups in the middle. So I'm actually going to flip this. Ace of Cups here. And I'll start in the middle of the reading. So the Ace of Cups is the aces are new beginnings, but I reversed it because the water and the fire don't generally play well together, and because it's sandwiched in between the two, I feel like there's a little bit of a misstep that your spirit team is seeing here in terms of feeling blocked emotionally. And I think that the theme of this reading from your spirit team is about how to overcome and break out of that energy and flip this energy from reverse to upright. So yeah, so the theme, the overall like gist of things is your team has noticed you feel a little bit blocked. But on the one side, yes, Luna. Okay, she agrees with me. Um on the one side we have the 3 of wands. This is about like growth and looking ahead, and then we have on the other side the 2 of wands, making plans, right? So if you're feeling blocked, sometimes it's really hard for us to want to make plans, want to look ahead, want to even think about anything in the future. But because you have these 2 fire cards, I really think that your team is saying like you really have to find your passion again. It may not necessarily be what it looked like before, but you have to find something that really fulfills you emotionally, something that's really exciting, and I think maybe has like this air of adventure, in the sense like it doesn't have to be like physically adventurous, like skydiving, but something that you haven't done before, something you might have wanted to do in the past but you just felt like maybe you aren't ready for it. And give yourself the grace to do so, so that way you can flip this energy upright, right? So that would look like, in terms of like what would you like the future to look like for you? So you may not need to do like anything actionable yet, in terms of making those changes, but here you can start to just idealize what that could be. And then mirrored with the 2 of wands, maybe put pen to paper. This is where you take a little bit of action, where you actually start to make some plans, maybe journal about it, or vision board it, or New Year's resolutions, or whatever you think you would be able to stick with, just to give yourself the chance to start taking those steps forward. But ultimately, the goal is, as you're making these plans and adjustments and changes, what is really exciting to you? What brings you inspiration? What really like out of all of that, what do you think you would emotionally connect with? What would make you happy? Is really what it is. And yeah, so you feel like you just don't look forward to the future. And I think that's maybe because you're letting things play out how they're going to play out, instead of taking a little bit more control over them and giving yourself a game plan. Um yes, Luna. I'm almost done. Give yourself a game plan, and I would say, with the cups being at the center of your reading, at the end of the day, be kind to yourself. um Kind of give yourself some grace. There's like, when you have cups, you have that water energy, that healing energy from the water. So allow yourself room to heal and sit and meditate as well. So this isn't saying like go and jump in feet first into something new. This is just, enjoy the process of planning things out. Research some things that seem fun. Maybe watch some cool new videos, discover new hobbies, new pastimes, stuff like that. So this is all about like taking the pressure off and being able to allow yourself to move forward differently than you are now. Okay, Luna. Alrighty. Almost done. Alrighty, Luke, you are up next. You're welcome, LH. Good luck. Let me turn this back around. What? Okay. Alrighty, Luke, go ahead, put your question in the chat. I will pull an oracle card for you as well. And if you guys have been enjoying this, make sure you like the video. It helps with the algorithm and helps other subscribers find me. Sure. let's see what the overall theme is with the oracle card, and then what I'll do is each card will be like the overall theme for that month. How's that? So this will be the um overall theme for this quarter. Let's see here. Overall theme for this quarter for Luke. Here we go. Oh, we got the same card as the community read. So that means that community read's impactful for you. This card is the leisure card again. This is remaining lighthearted. So I think the theme for this quarter, the next 3 months, are about all chill vibes, taking it easy when you can, going with the flow, not putting too much pressure on yourself, all of that good stuff. So let's see what we have for January. Okay, let's see what we have for February. And then let's see what we have for March. No, you're fine, Luke. So we have the Knight of Swords for January. I'm going to scoot this up a bit so you can see everything. We have the Queen of Pentacles for February, and then we have Justice for March. So I mentioned your overall theme, right, is kind of go with the flow, be a little chill over the next 3 months with this card here, and I kind of see that play out in terms of getting to this Justice card. So I feel like the goal over the next 3 months is if you can put chill vibes in, you'll get chill vibes out. So you kind of get what you're giving. So for January, we have the Knight of Swords. I feel like, outside of the Knight of Wands, this is our most active knight, but because of that, can sort of lean into that impulsiveness you get with the Knight of Wands, but where the Knight of Wands just kind of actively goes from thing to thing to thing without thinking it through. The Knight of Swords tends to go from thought to thought to thought and acts on them. So I would say that, be careful about January becoming just going from one idea to another, to another, to another, and really not putting any substance behind any of it. So it's great in the sense like knights are ambitious. So they have goals and ideas, and that's awesome. Not trying to rein that in. Just give it a little more structure behind it, because the Knight of Swords struggles with that. A good thing, though, is the Knight of Swords is about action, but remember, the goal is chill vibes, right? So what can you do that imbues that Knight of Swords energy where you can kind of be thoughtful, have goals, have objectives, but you're not literally just superficially bouncing from thing to thing to thing, right? So that's your thought for January. For February, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is kind of like opposite vibes to January. So February feels very much more like you are going to be much more rooted, and this is where you can sort of plant down a bit, slow down. Maybe this is where you start to really feel the chill vibes that you were putting in, because the Queen of Pentacles, she is all about finding that stillness and being comfortable in that stillness. She's, of course, with that earth energy, there's this level of practicality, there's a level of groundedness that is going on, and I think that she's just really asking you to find that, right? Find that groundedness. But on the other side, also with the queens, they are imbuing a lot of the water energy. So there's this nurturing, healing side as well. So maybe that's what February is going to be about, where you kind of treat yourself as the queen that we all are, and gender aside, where we can just sort of sit back and pamper ourselves and take care of ourselves and really nurture the things that are really important to us. Like this is where you like the Night of Search struggles, where it's just like, oh, I want to do everything, I want to do this, that, and the third, but the queen is very much like these are the things that are truly important. And then I was telling you that we have the Justice card. This is our March energy, where it's like everything that we have been working for the previous 2 months is starting to pay off a little bit. You're starting to see how like you are creating the energy around you that you have been putting in. So if you have been giving in to being a little more chill and relaxed, kind of going with the flow, then March can very much be that. But March is nebulous. That can go any which way, depending on how you treat it. So it's somewhat of a like card of caution, but it's just, I think March you just start to see the results of everything else from the previous 2 months. So yeah, I actually like how this pairs. This pairs really well, like looking at it. Very interesting. Like there are similar motifs across. I was wondering how it look, because this is a very green deck, and this is very much not. I'm liking it though. Whoops. Alrighty. M Soul, thank you. Luke, thanks for getting them all figured out. All right, Soul, go ahead, put your question in the chat. You're welcome, Luke. It kind of does make me think of a bit of a tea leaf deck, or like I don't know how to describe it, but I really like it. Yeah, I thought they did, Luke. Oh, hey, Sylvia. Thanks for joining. We can do advice on your goals and motivations. Let's see. Let me close the queue, by the way. You're still good to go. Huh. Actually, let's see if I can fix this. There we go. All right. So the queue's closed, but you're still good, Sylvia. Okay, let's see. General advice, motivation for Sylvia. Ooh, our one and only repeat so far of the night. Last card. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and then we have the Hierophant. So there's a few different motifs going on. Every once in a while, I tell people this, like, because of the nature of the way live streams are, and just like due to time, there are certain things that I would normally in a full reading pull out and expand upon. And this is one of those readings. So we kind of have different things going on. We have the Three of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Three of Wands. This is the card where it says, like, if you're wanting to work on your motivations and your goals, you need to set them. This is your card where you are looking ahead in the future. I was mentioning this in a previous reading. What do you want the future to look like, right? You don't have to actually write down the actual specific goals, but like if you are envisioning, what does that vision look like? You could write down just general descriptions. I'm saying write down, but if you're not into journaling and stuff like that, just even thinking about them, being a little mindful about them is half the battle. So if you don't even have an idea of what the future is going to look like for you, or what you want the future to look like, rather, you are going to struggle to find motivation to do things. There's no goals to really set, right? So that is your first step. That's your main advice to kick off everything here. So and to give you guys a peek behind the curtain of how I like to do detailed readings is, what does that planning look like? And we can like branch this card off and pull some more cards and look at them, right? So that's normally what I would do. But in this case, what I ask you to do is to sit with it, kind of come up with your own actions. And then if there's pieces that are still a little unclear, you can always come back and we can dive into that portion of things. So in the middle of your reading, you have the Eight of Pentacles. This is very much the hard work card. This is where you really have to put your feet to the ground and push forward. So in this exercise here, you are deciding what those goals should be, right? You're deciding what you want the future to look like. And this is where you start to shape that and then eventually take action and make it happen. The Pentacles, I like that this is your action card is Pentacles, because there's a little more stability than if you had Wands. It could Wands can sometimes lead you in every which direction. It kind of can get grow out of our control sometimes. But the Eight of Pentacles is really about being very diligent in what you're doing. It's very much a slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. It's not about rushing. It's about building up in actionable layers how you are going to stay motivated and what your goals look like. So hopefully, another thing I like to point out in my readings is, as I'm talking, your mind is going, you're starting to pull things together. So hopefully in these things, you may not have fully reconciled this, but you're starting to get twinges of ideas of what that could look like. And then finally, we're ending with the Hierophant, which I really, really like, because the Hierophant is, to me, the card that says, like, you don't have to do this alone. Do you have a mentor? Like, as you decide, like, maybe you have some things that are life goals. Maybe you have some things that are work goals. If they're work goals, do you have a mentor at work? If they're life goals, do you have friends or family that you can bounce ideas off of? This isn't something that you have to do in an isolated manner, right? Parts of it may be like the planning part and getting an idea of what you want your future to look like. That's totally up to you. But with the working hard part, you can do with someone. You don't have to take the entire burden on yourself. So I think ultimately, Sylvia, I think you have some really good advice here. You have your planning phase, figure out what you want. Just to summarize everything, figure out what you want the future to look like. Just paint the picture. And then you have your doing phase where you are actively starting to change that vision and formulate it into actionable goals. And then you are also working towards those goals. And then we have the assistance, right? This is a part of the doing phase where you have help in doing these things, whatever those goals are that you have set. I feel like I talked a lot, so let me know if you have any questions. Robin, they are just barely cartoony. They're like the cusp of not being cartoony, but actually being cartoony. They're not realistic, but they're also not cartoony. I don't know what to call that. Somewhere in between. Whoops. Yeah, Sylvia, the planning part is hard. That's why I was saying, like, if you just look more so like the big picture, things start to fall into place. And like I said, I recommend if you be a little more what's the word? Deliberate in doing this. You can always start, and then if you hit a few roadblocks, feel free to come back and I can dive into this portion a little deeper. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Luna is staring at me, so it's a sign that I gotta get off of here. um, if you would like, join me over on Discord. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so join me over on Discord. I'm active on YouTube as well. I'm working on building like more of a like community portion of things and posting more often. That's my goal for 2025. So keep an eye out for some community posts from me. And otherwise, I will see you guys soon. All right. Bye.